First documented case of parthenogenesis in crocodiles. Zookeepers in Costa Rica have reported the first case of parthenogenesis among crocodiles. A female American crocodile, kept in isolation for 16 years, laid 14 eggs in her enclosure. Scientists suggest that dinosaurs may have had a similar ability. A female American crocodile, Crocodilus acutus, living in Costa Rica's Parque Reptilandia, apparently grew tired of waiting 16 years for a mate and decided to fend for herself. Zookeepers discovered 14 eggs in her enclosure. Unfortunately, the final outcome wasn't what she likely envisioned. The description and results of the research were published in the journal Biology Letters. Parthenogenesis, also known as virgin birth, is the process of reproduction that occurs without the participation of a male. It involves the development of embryos within an egg without the participation of sperm. This phenomenon is not uncommon in the animal kingdom, and in many species, it occurs in the absence of males. Birds, some sharks, snakes, and lizards, including the giant Komodo dragons, can reproduce this way. Now, the first recorded case of a captive female crocodile laying eggs has occurred at Parque Reptilandia in Costa Rica. The female crocodile, who had been living in isolation for the past 16 years, laid a total of 14 eggs in one day. Furthermore, half of the eggs were found to contain embryos. However, after 3 months of incubation, none of the eggs hatched. A more thorough examination of the fetuses was undertaken, including using a specialized program called parthenogenesis. The obvious was confirmed. The genetic material of the unhatched offspring came solely from their mother. Unfortunately, this case also exposes certain weaknesses of parthenogenesis, as the resulting embryos are not always capable of independent survival, or as in this case, of beginning life at all. The case of the Costa Rican female crocodile has led scientists to conclude that the ability to perform parthenogenesis can be extended to so-called archosaurs, or primates. This group of evolutionarily advanced reptiles, which includes crocodiles, is a group that suggests that dinosaurs and pterosaurs were also capable of this. The health of the young resulting from parthenogenesis varies between animals. For example, boars and pythons appear healthy. However, not all snakes are so fortunate. If we look at rattlesnakes, cobras, garter snakes, and sea snakes, for example, we find that such embryos are often dead or severely deformed. Parthenogenesis is also possible in birds and sharks. However, the health of their young also varies. Some of them actually turn out to be healthy. However, most of the observed young died prematurely, surviving only a few months, or at most years. The resulting new organisms appear to be quite poorly adapted to normal life. It's worth challenging the notion that parthenogenesis is a characteristic mode of reproduction for animals kept in captivity. This isn't entirely true. Such cases have also been observed among animals living in the wild. The post-truth era. Human rationality has been declining for decades. Belief in a flat Earth, the harmfulness of vaccines, and other pseudoscientific theories is nothing new, although one might get the impression that widespread access to the internet and social media has contributed to this phenomenon. However, according to recently published research, society's disdain for scientific facts and the political classes' rather idiosyncratic approach to truth are the result of a process that began decades ago. Researchers from Wageningen University and Research WUR and Indiana University have shown that the increasing irrelevance of factual truth in public discourse is part of a trend that began decades ago. A new study indicates that over the past 4 decades, society and public debate have undergone an accelerated shift from the collective to the individual, and from rationality to emotion. The scientists published their findings in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Analyzing the language of millions of books, researchers found that the number of words related to reasoning, such as determine and conclude, had been steadily increasing since 1850. In contrast, the number of words related to human experience or emotion, such as feel and believe, had been decreasing. But over the past 40 years, this pattern has reversed. They also found that the language used by book authors has shifted from collectivist to individualist, as reflected in the ratio of singular to plural pronouns like I and we. Interpreting this synchronous shift in book language remains a challenge, says study co-author Johan Bollen of Indiana University. Interestingly, the nature of this reversal occurs in both fiction and non-fiction. Moreover, we observe the same pattern in New York Times articles, suggesting that it is not an artifact of the book corpora we analyzed, emphasizes the researcher. Concluding about the factors driving the long-term linguistic patterns observed from 1850 to 1980 necessarily remains speculative, says lead study author Martin Scheffer from WUR. Regarding trends from 1850 to 1980, it's possible that the rapid development of science and technology, along with socio-economic changes, contributed to the rising status of the scientific approach, which gradually permeated culture, society, and its institutions, from education to politics. As Max Weber argued, this may have led to a process of disenchantment, as the role of spirituality declined in modernized, bureaucratized, and secularized societies, explains Scheffer. What exactly caused the observed reversal of the long-term trend around 1980 is even more difficult to pinpoint. However, the authors believe it may be related to tensions stemming from changes in social and economic policy since the early 1980s, which were defended with rational arguments, but whose benefits were not evenly distributed. These changes brought poverty and marginalization to many social groups, which, the researchers suspect, discouraged them from engaging in rational arguments. The authors found that the shift from rationality to sentiment in the language of books accelerated around 2007 with the rise of social media, when the frequency of factual words decreased across all languages, while significantly more emotional words appeared. This trend paralleled the shift from collectivist to individualist language. Regardless of the causative factors, our results suggest that the post-truth phenomenon is related to an imbalance between two fundamental modes of thinking, reasoning and intuition, notes co-author Ingrid van der Leemput from WUR. If this is true, it may be impossible to reverse the current trend. Instead, societies may need to find a new balance, explicitly recognizing the importance of intuition and emotion while making the most of the much-needed power of rationality and science, says the researcher.